What if? Have you ever wondered if there was some truth to your favourite fictional stories, or some elements of a character that actually belong to a real person? No, I haven't actually. But now that you mention it, there was that one time in X-Files when a cigarette man was gonna go public.
When do you plan to publish the story?
Romana Clef, it'll be on the newsstands the morning of November 12th.
What if the three conspiracy theory nerds from the X-Files were actually onto something?
Check it out, Mulder. I had breakfast with the guy who shot John F. Kennedy.
Is that so?
Old dude now, but yeah. Says he was dressed as a cop on the grassy knoll.
And as wild as that clip was, what if some of those classic X-Files episodes were secretly based on real events? Sometimes it's a great idea to hide the truth in plain sight and make light of the heaviest subject matters.
What about UFO activity during that period?
Yeah, UFOs caused the Gulf War syndrome. That's a good one.
That's why we like you, Mulder. Your ideas are weirder than ours.
Imagine the cigarette smoking man really does exist as an agent for the government, working from behind the scenes in the shadows, pulling the strings for history.
Check on the private hacker source who's been working on tracking a few leads to produce definitive proof. And then we'll have a nail.
I can kill you in a right place.
As funny as it is to quote the now memeified "my agent" joke, this was actually a very real reality for some notable and nameless individuals who found themselves under observation by various agencies.
The letter began by calling Dr. King a fraud, and warned that the demise of his reputation among the public was fast approaching. The package also contained an audio tape, a compilation of FBI surveillance allegedly of King engaging in multiple extramarital affairs. The document's ominous closing, according to some scholars, suggested that Dr. King was given a deadline of 34 days to take his own life, or suffer the humiliation of the tape's release.
What kind of business are you in?
We predict the future. The best way to predict the future is to invent it.
The idea that a group of people or an agent would be watching you and intervening in your life used to be just a skeptical, paranoid theory, but has since been disclosed as actual facts.
I think you give the government too much credit. I mean, the government can't control a deficit or manage crime. What makes you think they can plan and execute such an elaborate conspiracy?
She is hot. Settle down, Frohickey.
So there is a slight chance that some of the real stories that people lived through have snuck themselves into all forms of storytelling and mediums, as our quote-unquote agents might be behind some of the key turning points in history.
Those were the most paranoid people I have ever met. I don't know how you could think that what they say is even remotely plausible.
I think it's remotely plausible that someone might think you're hot.
Conspiracy Kool-Aid. Every year, more and more information that was once considered classified and top secret gets declassified and disseminated. Sometimes certain details are left blacked out, and every now and again, a story we believe to be false actually gets proven real by our own governments.
Photographs were taken in 2019 in the same area. The Pentagon confirms these are images of objects it can't identify. Lieutenant Graves told us pilots training off the Atlantic coast see things like that all the time.
Every day. Every day for at least a couple years.
Oh, wait a minute, every...
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA. My God. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
I recall a period of time between 2007 and 2012 when the dark conspiracy corners of the internet became a very mainstream part of the now major platform that is YouTube. From vampires and aliens to chupacabras and lizard people, everybody and their uncle had a semi-believable story with the classic shaky, blurry footage to go along with it.
Everything they teach you in school is a lie. You want the truth? The world is controlled by shadowy elites and shape-shifting lizard people.
Although most of these ideas and stories died off, a part of the conspiracy theorists and skeptic mentalities seared themselves into the zeitgeist of the times and every year since.
Did he ask you about all the bribery in your administration?
Sir, you forgot your briefcase. I do not take bribes.
Most of the deeper divers of these subjects mostly stay in the strange corner of the internet, but certain theories and ideas became memeified and adopted into mainstream culture.
I mean, I feel dumb for believing Bianca and Allie. Like, they're always swearing the Illuminati is real and aliens planted humans and...
Yeah.
I should acknowledge that it is very possible that media smears and government cover-ups happen. However, the overtly exhausted tactic of telling people to research for themselves, knowing they won't, doesn't support the theorist's case any better. If anything, it hurts them more, because being able to research is a skill you have to build, and knowing how to research correctly is simply something most people will never do. So by the use of emotional language and a smorgasbord of fallacy arguments, many people get sucked into the dead zone that is conspiracy theories.
Saying, hi conspiracy brother, hi. What you mean hi? Like hi yellow wanna be white? Huh? Hi like the white man wants to keep us? Huh? Hi? You smell the weed on me, do you? Hey brother, can I get a list of the words that trigger these fits? Man, you really need to relax.
The reason this gravitation towards conspiracy theories happens is partly because of the entertainment and the mystery of it, and partly because of the way the human psyche is set up to look for problems to solve. But once again, to provide a more balanced take, there are things that take place that the general population is just simply not supposed to know. So the next time you think you've stumbled across a secret or conspiracy, ask yourself where your information is coming from and who might be benefiting from feeding you it.
Hey, you're not stupid. And I didn't say it's not true, just that there's not enough evidence to prove that aliens built the pyramids, and that there's more evidence to suggest that they were man-made.
The use of information in warfare may just be the greatest secret the devil never told, or however you say it. So I would encourage keepers of real knowledge and information to be wise stewards of it, as you know it can be dangerous to say what you know at inopportune times. There are various forms of blowback, gaslighting and endangerment that can happen when disseminating information. So to protect yourself, your mental health and your social existence, you must be careful with what you share, and especially careful if it is the truth.
Just a 5th grade thing.
It's an every grade thing. People of all ages believe in conspiracies.
Why?
I think because they're scared of death or danger.
Chaos.
Exactly.
Vocab word.
Correct use. Chaos is scary for a lot of people. And as weird as it sounds, they feel much better believing that there's somebody behind the scenes controlling everything.
I often think back to a Nas lyric that sums up the subtle paranoia and anxiety a conspiracy theorist might go through. It goes, "Alphabet boys still plotting against me, to hush me up and stuff me in the pockets of history. You won't remember why they came to clip me. When time go by, you'll soon forget me."
What's your stance on things, man? I mean, I think it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know, the statement is even more, it's political, but it's like, you know, it's out of control, you know what I'm saying? It's like to the point where, you know, we just get used to shit happening to people, and nobody wants to say shit. It's not cool to say shit.
Bearing in mind, this album did come out around the height of the YouTube conspiracy theories and paranoia, so perhaps that was just him tapping into the zeitgeist of that era.
You know, whether the elections was going on or not, Nas gonna rap about what Nas rap about, and the election's always been faking us out, man. The other year was vote or die. I wasn't with that either. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with it now. Like, I never trusted politics. I never seen anything politics did for the hood. I never seen any president even mention one ghetto's name. I never heard any president mention Fort Greene. I never heard we don't exist to them. And I think it's great right now that George Bush is leaving and that we have Obama up for office.
The conspiracy theorist part of society has very much been incorporated into mainstream culture, so much so you can no longer tell just by looking who might be and who might not be one.
You know, you do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories.
Well, yes, but I mean, honestly, you know, some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened. That's election interference. But
even some of my favorite games of all time, like Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid, have a healthy sprinkling of conspiracy theories all throughout their stories, making you question the reality of our real world through the lens of the characters.
The people are shown what they want to believe. What you call government is actually a well-staged production aimed at satisfying the public. Huh? Don't look at me like that. I'm legally sane, you know.
It's not your sanity that worries me.
And let's not forget about the overt seasoning of the hottest conspiracy topics of all time throughout a game like Deus Ex, of which the maker actually intended for it to be filled to the brim with every type of conspiracy he could find and fit into the game.
Everywhere you looked in 1997, there was a conspiracy theory. It was crazy. Black helicopters, men in black, manufactured diseases, you know, sentient AIs, government serving the needs of mysterious overlords. I mean, it was all there, right? And the World Wide Web, I mean, who knew where that was going to lead? People believed in all that stuff, okay? And the world of Deus Ex was being created all around us. We didn't have to make anything up. It was great. What would happen if you dropped a James Bond guy who believes in right and wrong and black and white into a world that's all shades of gray? What would the world be like if every conspiracy theory people believe to be true were in fact true? And finally, how would the world be better off? This was really important. Would the world be better off as it really is, ruled by a secret cabal, of course? Would it be better off if it was ruled by a sentient AI that connected all of us, but cost us our free will?
And even with the recent release of the Bob Marley biopic, boomer conspiracy theories are starting to resurface, like the CIA gave him cancer because of politics between country A and country B.
There's even one theory that the CIA gave Marley the cancer he ended up succumbing to. It's been said that following the failed assassination attempt, a man named Bill Oxley was hired by the agency to pose as a photographer for the New York Times. He convinced Marley to be photographed for the paper, and as a gift gave the musician a size 10 pair of Converse All-Stars. Excited, Marley tried on the shoes and was struck in the foot by something inside the shoe on the left foot. The object was said to be a nail that somehow was radioactive or contained bacteria or cancer viruses. 5 months after he supposedly tried on the shoe, a doctor diagnosed the musician as having cancer. Meanwhile, a filmmaker named Carl Colby, who did documentaries on Marley, just happened to be the son of a former CIA director, William Colby.
Mr. Mulder, anyone can be gotten to. Certainly you've no doubt of that.
We watch biopics and movies based on real events all the time, and rarely do we question the validity of the story. So what if there were a few times where we read or watched a real story believing it was just fictional? They do say reality is stranger than fiction.
They probably think that every call they get is monitored and they're followed everywhere they go. It's a form of self-delusion. It makes them think that what they're doing is important enough that somebody would...
What's the matter?
Reality check. Although the craziest theories from flat earthers to Illuminati subcults run rampant on the internet and in other forms of legacy media, there also exists a long-standing tradition in both politics and military history of sharing and leaking information on real operations.
What part of spying on the UN don't you understand? I want everything. Hair samples, fingerprints, where they buy their groceries. We're the United States of America. We can do whatever we want. Hey, are you filming me?
Hell, you just got Biden!
You can still find things from the Cold War period that signify, like Morpheus says, just how deep the rabbit hole goes, from radiated Tupperware to the likes of things I dare not even speak about.
There's a scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care. I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
But luckily for us entertainment consumers, creatives have been tapped into the inexhaustible muse that is reality, and from that inspiration they have produced all kinds of genres, from science fiction to love stories with real historic events hiding in all of them. So, some of the coolest movies, books and games ever made may have elements of some random story your great-grandparents actually lived.
The people that are in power know that the people that are running the most complicated and deadliest things on the planet are just an average idiot. And you know lots of idiots. I do. Yep.
Thank you for making it to the end of the video. QR code on the screen, feel free to donate, and don't forget you can click here to check out our latest videos. Until next time, let's hunt.